Howdy gamers, Old Gamer Guy here. Welcome to another Stellaris Console Edition video. I was intending to have this video edited and uploaded on Thanksgiving Day, but it didn't work out. So I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving if you celebrate it, and if not, I hope you had a good Thursday. But never mind all that. It is the year 2235, and the Iwantu Rokk are not having a great time. We have slow population growth, so we are having trouble getting our resources and building our upgrades. As it stands right now, I expect these three empires to eventually unite and roll over the rest of us. They are materialists. The Iwantu and the calamari are spiritualists. Oh, but never mind all that, because we also have enemies under our own surface of our own planet, and they are attacking. But luckily, we are able to repel this attack. We discovered these creatures, and we were attempting to be friendly, but I made some bad decisions. You know, mistakes were made along the way, on both sides, really, when you think about it. And, well, it turned out not to be so friendly. But we won the victory there. They are not defeated, however, so we need to start a special project on how are we going to get down inside our own planet and destroy this subterranean civilization. Along with our other resource problems, we now have to worry about food, because we don't eat food as lithoids, but we now have some organics living on our planets, and so we have to feed them. Otherwise, well, I don't know what'll happen. I guess they would get sick and hungry and maybe revolt. I don't know. But I'm going to go ahead and try to feed them. I'm going to try to do the right thing, but it's just another burden on our already stressed economy. The Tyrell Corporation has declared the multiplex as their rival. Pretty much everybody is the rival of the multiplex, so this is not surprising. The multiplex wants to kill everybody, but never mind that. On the lighter side of the news, our scientists have discovered some amazing winged statues. This is actually on one of our colony worlds, and so we can study these things. But it would take up space. It would take up some of our available building space, or we could, I guess, ignore them and destroy them. But I'm going to study them, and that creates an archaeological site. We've discovered several of these through the game so far, but they have all been outside of our space, and I could not do anything about it. But we are going to assign one of our scientists to check this out. I'm intrigued. The Senate is doing something, and they have passed the Pan-Galactic Recycling Initiatives, which sounds good, I guess. Way to go, Senate. On another colony world, our bureaucracy has failed, and so we could write this off as unfortunate, and it would add sprawling slums and an industrial wasteland. Or we could invest in the area, and we could spend a little energy and some influence and gain some unity. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And hopefully our citizens will appreciate it. But never mind that, because the Zadran Marauders are pursuing one of their own shuttles into our space, and we managed to recover it and get some energy credits out of the deal. But meanwhile, on the archaeological site, we have some developments. Something has gotten into the archaeologists. Freak accidents and injuries have caused even our seasoned scientists to start blaming the statues themselves. So we are going to continue on this archaeological dig, and we have found a minor artifact, and we'll get to what that means a little bit later in the video. But we're going to continue this dig. We're curious. So we'll see what happens next. And we didn't have to wait long to find out what happened next, but unfortunately, what happened next is that our scientist has vanished. This is very disconcerting. That scientist disappeared in this system. Our only other scientist is trapped down in this system. They've been stuck down there for quite a while. So we need to change the leader, but it lists that other scientist as returning. They've been attempting to return for a long time now, but we can't fly through that yellow space. That's Carillion space. But what I can do is disband this ship. And now, suddenly, that scientist is available to be assigned over here. So it really doesn't make much sense to me. It seems like we could have used some kind of a Star Trek teleporter to get them out of there at any time. But anyway, we have changed the leader at the archaeological site. But never mind that. We need to fortify these choke points because we have enemies all around us. And I've been trying to do this when I can do it. But as I mentioned, resources are a challenge. And so therefore, building improvements is a challenge. So I'm doing it when I can do it. I'm also upgrading my fleet here when I can do it. But it's slow going. It is slow going. And who knows if we'll be ready when the time comes. And who knows whether I should build a gun battery or a missile battery. What the hell, I'm going to build a couple of missile batteries. I'll probably change my mind later. The Senate is back from lunch, apparently, and they're ready to do something else. They have something to vote on. They want to vote on the readied shield. The universe is a dangerous place. I wholeheartedly agree because I'm surrounded by people who don't like me. So I'm going to go ahead and support this. I really don't like this part of the game, to be honest with you. But never mind that. The derp have bigger problems because their planet has exploded. The derp are a civilization that I created just to be a constant antagonist. But I gave them nothing but disadvantages. And among those disadvantages is the origin where their planet explodes in 30 years. So they didn't do anything about moving their civilization, and so therefore the derp are gone. Their corpses are floating through this space right here, and unfortunately that will not benefit me at all. The Carillions can spread out that way, the Calamari can spread out that way, but never mind that. We are continuing our archaeological dig, and we've gotten another artifact. So we've got 3 of them so far, and you can save them up and do various things with them. Doing these things can give you some energy credits or some unity. So it just depends on how many you want to save up and what you want to do with them. I ended up selling most of mine to private collectors, but I did proclaim a religious revelation which gave us unity, which gave us a tradition point to spend. So we are continuing on the prosperity tree. We have a few options here. I think I ended up picking the one that increases our resource output, I believe. I don't even really remember. This is I'm in suspense right here, right now. The pursuit of profit. Okay, specialist resource output. So that's what I chose right there. But back to the archaeological site. An event is pending. We have found some of our missing archaeologists' belongings. So we can choose to spare no expense in the search. We could divert some of our resources to the search, or we could just say, well, that archaeologists deserted us and we're not going to waste our time on deserters. But I, of course, am going to spare no expense, just like the late, great John Hammond at Jurassic Park. I will spare no expense to find our missing scientist. And before long, we have another event. Our scientist has been found. So we now have 5 clues on the planet at the site, and our archaeologist is maimed. But never mind that, because our subterranean pests have decided to invade once again. But before I can even look at the planet, we have defeated them. So we're still working on that project to destroy them, but never mind that, because we have found a drifting fleet of Zadran Marauder ships. So we could scrap them or we could keep them. I have the maximum number of ships I can have in my fleet right now, so adding these is a problem, but I feel like I should go ahead and add them anyway. So I am now over my fleet limit, which is not great. But we have now a salvaged fleet that has appeared in our main home system. And this fleet is more powerful than the ships I already had. But unfortunately, having exceeding your naval capacity will increase the maintenance of your ships. So that is going to impact my economy in a negative way, of course. But here is the fleet. I considered disbanding them, but I decided to keep them. And we'll see how that works out in the future. It did not really destroy my economy, but it did put us into the negative for our energy credits. But meanwhile, that archaeological site has been finished. We have found out all we can find out. Our choice now is to destroy one of the statues because we want to study further, and the only way we can do that is by damaging it. There's one that's already damaged, so we could choose to go ahead and do that. We could just go ahead and level the statues, or we could choose not to desecrate the remaining statues at all. I am going to go ahead and try to open the already damaged Sentinel, and we'll see what happens. But as I'm watching this footage right now and recording this voiceover right now, I'm kind of wishing that I had not desecrated the sacred monument, because we would have gotten some bonus unity out of that. Unity is always good because that leads to tradition points. We're spiritualists, so from a role-playing standpoint, it would also have made more sense not to desecrate the monument, but we chose, for some reason, I don't even remember why I did this, but at the time, it seemed like a better idea to inspect the broken statue. So we're going to start a project to do that. But unfortunately, we will not see the result of this project in this video. Meanwhile, over on Ferrum, there was an archaeological site that I could not access for a while, but then I did finally establish a colony here. So we're going to send our scientist over this way. And before too long, we get our first report from the archaeological dig. There are windswept, deserted cities. They are old and weathered by exposure and neglect, but mostly intact. So this is very intriguing. We've found a minor artifact, and we are, of course, going to keep digging. We've gotten 2 more minor artifacts out of these investigations, and I think I'm just going to go ahead and sell both of them to private collectors, and we'll get some energy credits out of that. Right now we have a deficit in our energy income. I'm slowly building districts to fix that problem, but at this particular moment I'm still in the negative, so this will give us a bit of a cushion. The Senate wants to remind us that they still exist, and so they have passed the readied shield, as I expected them to do. The Corellians are becoming more antagonistic as time is going on, and they are claiming a couple of our systems here, so this is disturbing. I've been trying to improve relations with them, but unfortunately, they apparently have been actively trying to hurt relations with us. So we already have an envoy over there. I can't do anything else about it. I can offer them a trade deal, like a one-sided trade deal, and try to make them more friendly to us. And I am going to go ahead and do that. I'm not sure it's going to do any good in the long run, but I'm just going to offer them communications and an active sensor link. And I thought I would see if they would go for a trade like that, but no, they don't want to give us anything. And really all I'm hoping from this deal is that it will prolong the uneasy peace for as long as possible. They accepted the deal, but then they kind of insulted us as they did it, so we'll see what happens. I might just be prolonging the inevitable, but in the meantime, we've made another discovery at the Archaeological Site. We have found tunnels leading deep into the planet, so we are going to keep digging. The Tyrell Corporation appears to be doing well for themselves down there. I'm kind of wishing that I had played as the Tyrell Corporation instead. I'm a big Blade Runner fan, but never mind that. The Corellians have claimed another system. This system right here. So I would have expected the multiplex to have attacked us by now, or the Zadran Marauders, but apparently the Corellians are the ones who are going to attack us first. So I'm going to take our Salvaged Fleet and I'm going to move them over here, and I'm going to recruit a leader. And I don't know what good this will do. I think the Corellians are listed as still superior to us in fleet power. So I don't know what good this is going to do in the long run, but I can't just leave this choke point undefended. The Senate has awakened from their nap, and they want to vote on banning the organic slave trade. And it's kind of interesting how many civilizations are abstaining from this vote. Only one supporter for this vote, the Corellians, and we are going to support it as well. So I hope the Corellians notice that and say, hey, maybe they're not so bad. But in the meantime, our archaeological dig on Ferrum has been completed. We went further down into the planet, and apparently the subterranean civilization is all gone now. So it was just the remnants of the civilization that were emerging and attacking us, probably out of desperation. They dug down into the planet long ago, but things went wrong, and their civilization was all but wiped out by the time they started to attack us. We're going to go ahead and sell our one artifact to private collectors and get just a little bit more energy. And our energy production is back in the positive, so that's good news. But I think this is a good spot to end this video. Things are still not looking great, but at least we got a bunch of archaeological digging done, so that was cool. Hopefully things will improve. We're not giving up. As always, thanks for watching.